We are Black Force. We are Arizona.
A 4-hour wild one last night. We're back at it early today. A Wednesday matinee. D-backs and Pirates as the D-backs look to complete the sweep, their second straight sweep, after taking all three in Colorado over the weekend. Spend your afternoon with the D-backs on Fox Sports Arizona. Good afternoon from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly along the way. The D-backs and Pirates have combined to score 35 runs in the first two games of this series. That narrative, however, may change with the pitching matchup we have today. One established ace and the other guy trying to become one. Bob, let's start with Zach Greinke. He's won his last two starts.
Yeah, he's won his last two starts. He's won his last two starts against the Pirates in his career with an ERA under 2 and opponent's batting average of 102. You see his numbers on the season. Zach Greinke, if you think about it, has given the D-backs a chance to win every time he takes the ball. He's the guy you want on the mound going for a sweep.
He's up against Pittsburgh's Jameson Taillon, the number 2 pick in the 2010 draft. He's out of the same high school that produced Goldie, the Woodlands outside Houston.
Yeah, the guy that went number 1 that year was some kid named Bryce Harper. Don't know whatever happened to him, but Jameson Taillon, a guy that the Pirates are really counting on to anchor their rotation moving forward. You see his numbers this season.
D-backs going for the sweep. First pitches coming up on Fox Sports Arizona. D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By BJ's Restaurant and Brew House. Visit bjsrestaurants.com to find a location near you. By Carl's Jr. The Memphis Barbecue Thick Burger is back at Carl's Jr. only for a limited time. Go on and pick it up. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Jack in the Box. This season, D-backs home runs score free Jumbo Jacks only at Jack in the Box. And by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the card today. Another hot one outside. Stay cool indoors with us and watch Zach Greinke and the D-backs try and sweep the Pirates. The first pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. Welcome inside Chase Field, set for D-backs baseball on this Wednesday afternoon. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly, and Kate Longworth with you. As the D-backs look for the 3-game sweep, it would be their first against the Pirates since 2009 and their first here at Chase Field in 12 years. Things have not been going Pittsburgh's way. Here's their lineup. It's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Josh Harrison once again leading it off at second base. Austin Meadows back in the lineup in left field. Starling Marte out in center. Colin Moran will be at third base. Francisco Cervelli making an appearance here in the final game of this series. He'll be behind the plate. Josh Bell at first. Gregory Polanco out in right. Jordy Mercer at shortstop. And big right-hander Jameson Taillon on the mound.
Clint Hurdle's ball club facing a sweep. They've lost 8 straight series. He says we've got work to do. We'll put it off for one more day. They're up against the Ram truck starter for the D-backs, the right-hander Zach Greinke. 5-4 with a 3.53 ERA. Zach has won his last 2 starts. He beat the Marlins and the Rockies.
Yeah, that Rockies game was a typical Coors Field game. He went 5 2/3, gave up 8 hits and 4 runs. 3 of them earned in that game. But the start before against the Marlins, he was outstanding. Gave up only 1 run in 6 2/3.
E.D. Marshall Jewelers gives us a look around the diamond at the D-backs defense today.
David Peralta out in left field. It's going to be loud out there. A lot of kids right behind him in the bleachers. Gerard Dyson will be in center field. John Jay over in right. Jake Lamb and Nick Ahmed on the left side of the infield. Cattell Marte and Paul Goldschmidt on the right side. Good to see Jeff Mathis back from paternity leave once again behind the plate for right-hander Zach Greinke.
Ryan Blakeney is the plate umpire this afternoon, calling the balls and strikes. The crew chief Sam Holbrook is at first base. Jim Wolf at second, and the third base umpire today is DJ Rayburn. Time now, Bob, for your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Do you even have to ask?
Well,
first
yes, actually I
games
do.
Of the series are in the pocket, so we're going for the sweep.
It would be 2 in a row for the D-backs. They've won 5 straight games in 11 of their last 14. A sweep of the Rockies at Coors Field over the weekend, and now a chance to sweep the Pirates here before the Mets come in tomorrow night for the first of 4. Josh Harrison will lead it off for the Buccos against Zach Greinke, now that is a front foot guard right there on Josh Harrison. Got a loose ball out in left center field. Dyson collects that. Will be set to go. Harrison hitting .304. He's got 3 homers. First pitch fastball's in there. We're underway. Harrison had 3 hits last night. He's had multiple hits in 5 of his last 6 games. He's been hot.
Not a whole lot of past history for this Pirates offensive lineup against Zach Greinke today. Sean Rodriguez 4 for 10 lifetime, the best average on that Pirates roster, and he's not in the lineup today.
Slider from Greinke left it up. Fouled off, and it's 1-2. Where that slider was a very effective pitch for Zach in that last start at Colorado. And he got him with a good one right there.
Yeah, with Zach Greinke, you have to kind of watch the first couple innings of the ball game to see what he's going to feature on a given day. Some days it's that hard changeup. Other days it's spotting his fastball in and out, up and down. And as you mentioned, last time out against the Rockies, he had a really good slider.
The rookie Austin Meadows, really good looking young left-hand batter. .346 and 5 homers. D-backs have the shift on, although Ahmed at shortstop is still on the shortstop side of second. Right out there next to second base umpire Jim Wolf. Meadows had a 2-run double in Monday's opener, kind of punched one the other way down the left field line. There's Ryan Blakeney back there.
Well, you see that extension at the bottom of the mask, both on the catcher and the umpire, and I think that saved Ryan Blakeney on this pitch. Oh man, that might have got up underneath there, but Blakeney plays it off pretty well. That might have got some throat right there. Tough guy.
Tap to second. Ketel Marte cleans it up. That was the old Steve Yeager invention, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, he had one that actually kind of laced onto the bottom of the mask, an extended piece of plastic that you would tie on with pieces of horsehide to try to protect that throat as best you can. Most guys go with what Blakeney and Jeff Mathis are featuring right now, the bars hanging down. Of course, the key is anytime you see a ball in the dirt, put your chin on your chest. That will protect your throat as best as you possibly can.
Starling Marte, the center fielder. Fouls off a fastball down and in. Marte 286 now with 8 home runs. He's had a big series. 4 hits and 5 RBIs. He's doubled twice and homered. Homer to the ball game last night against Clay Buchholz. Fastball misses away, 1-1. Talked about how Clint Hurdle has had to rotate 4 pretty good outfielders through 3 spots. Meadows was out of the lineup last night. Corey Dickerson was in there. Dickerson gets the day off today. Meadows is back in. Gregory Polanco sat out the opener Monday. Greinke had a ball and 2 strikes. Waves at that one. Another slider for Zach. A 1-2-3 first. Good start here at Chase Field. battery today, Mathis and Greinke. Your Ram truck starter for Pittsburgh, Jameson Taillon. 26-year-old right-hander. He's from Goldie's High School. That's the Woodlands, Texas, just outside Houston. The Pirates made Taillon the second pick in the 2010 draft, hoping he'll become their ace.
He's shown flashes of brilliance throughout his career, especially this season. His second start of the year, 9 innings of 1-hit shutout baseball against the Cincinnati Reds, and a couple starts ago, 8 innings of 3-hit shutout baseball against the Cardinals. He can be a handful.
He started playing around with a slider he picked up about a month ago, and he's had a lot of success with it, so we'll keep an eye out for that here today. John Jay looks at a fastball for strike one. Jay, 298. He's now got 2 homers. Had his breakout game with the D-backs last night. 3 hits, including that 3-run home run that essentially put the game away.
Yeah, I mentioned it after the ball game. John Jay, in his 9-year career, over 3,300 at bats, has only now hit 35 home runs, and that one last night was to the opposite field. Very unusual.
You see him go to left center field a lot, just not with that kind of power. But that was the one that busted things open in the 7th inning last night, after Marte had singled and Dyson had walked. Hit one like yesterday. Well, he goes over there. Mercer backhands it at shortstop, and Jay safe at first. Valley Chevy Dealers has the D-backs lineup.
John Jay on to start it. He'll be out in right field. Paul Goldschmidt making his way to the plate. He'll be at first base with Jake Lamb across the diamond at third. David Peralta in left field. Ketel Marte at second base. Gerard Dyson patrolling center field. Nick Ahmed at shortstop. Jeff Mathis behind the plate for right-hander Zach Greinke.
Well, this is the first time Jameson Taillon has ever faced the D-backs. First time he's ever pitched in this ballpark. So here it is, the matchup of 2 guys from the Woodlands High School outside Houston, Texas. Goldie, 258, 12 homers. Pushes him back with a fastball in. All right, Mr. Big Time, here I am. I'm going to show you who's boss. You've seen some pitchers try and do that with Goldie. Pounders plunked him the other night in Colorado. Everybody knows that 44 is rolling right now. Trying to push him back off the plate. Here's that slider that Taillon just picked up about a month ago. Goldie, 3 hits, couple of walks in this series. He's got an 8-game hitting streak. First time we've seen Francisco Cervelli in this series, the Pirates catcher. He missed the first 2 games after he got whacked in the head over the weekend at Wrigley Field. He really gets in that sort of crab-like crouch back there. Some guys kind of fold up nice and neat. He spreads out. He's all over the place. Watch him get wide with those feet. Boy, fastball right down the middle that time. Put that in a bad spot.
Well, this is for Highlanders bragging rights here. Woodlands High School, the Highlanders.
Goldie was the 8th round pick. Taillon was the 2nd pick in the draft. He came right out of high school. Goldie went to play collegiately, of course, at Texas State. Just got a piece of that curveball. Taillon's got a good curveball. That has been, up until about a month ago, his only breaking pitch. But he throws hard. You'll see 60% fastballs, mid to upper 90s. He's got a wicked hard sinker. He'll throw that sink at 95. You don't see that a lot.
Yeah, very little split between his 4-seam fastball and that 2-seam sinker, which is unusual. Usually there's a couple miles an hour drop off trying to get some movement on that fastball, but not for Taillon.
When he is at his most sharp, he's keeping the ball down in the zone, throwing strikes right on the corners, getting a lot of ground balls. Just foul down the third baseline, right to Robert Bam Bam Balderrama. Bam Bam. Ooh, is he rocking the jean shorts today? Wow, is that a violation of the dress code?
Day game after a night game, I think the dress code is waived.
All right.
You don't have your shorts on today?
No, sadly. There is a Tom Morales. Tom, don't call me Jerry Morales. I don't think that nickname has been approved yet by our new commissioner of nicknames out there in center field. I'll have to check with Toby on that.
You mentioned Francisco Cervelli back in the lineup for the Pirates today. One thing about Cervelli, much like Wilson Contreras with the Cubs, you will know who's catching for the Pirates. He always finds a way to draw attention to himself.
We have breaking news, Bob, regarding the Golden Glover in left field. That is not Bam Bam Balderrama. We should have noticed this right away. That's Ron Pennington.
Sure.
And the reason that Ron is wearing his jean shorts is they literally just pulled him out of the stands and they put him to work because Bam Bam was a no-show today, had a little issue, couldn't make it, so Ron literally stepped in.
That tells you the kind of fans our Golden Glovers are. They're here watching the ball game even when they're not working.
How about that? So nice job, Ron Pennington.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Ron had such great legs.
Who knew? I hope he doesn't have to slide on the warning track to stop a foul ball.
I was going to say, what if that look catches on? All our guys.
Well, it didn't work so good for the White Sox back in the day.
Good point. Goldie putting up a fight here, still 2-2. It's trying to get out of play. Big Josh Bell is over there, but it's behind the dugout. Remember last night, Josh Harrison had a 10-pitch at bat to start the game against Clay Buchholz. And here today, Goldie making Tyone work. Pitch number 11 coming up.
There was another at bat in the ball game last night in the 5th inning. After 2 quick strikeouts to start the inning, Goldie was grinding out about a 12 or 13 pitch at bat before drawing a base on balls just to extend the Pirates, not let them have a quick inning and get back in that dugout.
High in the air to center. Starling Marte. E.D. Marshall Jewelers has a look at the Pittsburgh defense around Jamison Tyone this afternoon.
That's Starling Marte just made that play out in center field. He'll be flanked by Austin Meadows in left, Gregory Polanco in right. Colin Moran will be at third base. Jordy Mercer, Josh Harrison make up the double play combo up the middle with Josh Bell at first base. Francisco Cervelli doing the catching for the big right-hander Jamison Tyone.
Here's Jake Lamb. Pirates will put 3 defenders on the first base side of the infield. Jake batting .221. He's got 4 homers. Lamb hit the big 3-run shot that tied Monday's game. And last night he was the guy who was the good teammate, made all the outs, 0 for 5.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise you'd hit forever.
They almost did anyway. 3 hours 56 minutes last night. 13 runs on 11 hits for the D-backs. There's that slider. Tyone's got a new toy suddenly. He did not throw one at all previously. He was always fastball, sinker, curveball. Never could pick up the changeup. Still doesn't really like it. And we've seen guys do that. Robbie Ray was one, kind of gave up on the changeup and went to a breaking ball. So did Patrick Corbin. Another one from Marte. Meadows is over there. He'll take it. Well, Tyone says the slider for him a little bit easier to pick up, and he can vary the speeds on it. Upper 80s. It'll have some depth to it. Sometimes low 90s. He'll act like a cut fastball. He's got a good feel for it. Here's David Peralta.
And Taillon has a little bit of a long arm stroke. He really extends that right arm out behind his back and then kind of slings it toward home plate. Might take an at bat or two to get used to seeing the release point with this delivery.
First pitch curveball, steals strike one. David has singled and tripled in the series. He's hit safely in 4 straight. That was the slider, the harder version that looks more like a cut fastball.
And Taillon really takes advantage of his big frame out there. 6'5", 240, stands tall on that rubber, tries to get that downward plane going on that mid-90s fastball.
Yeah, he is the prototype, the big Texas right-hander. That's what they're supposed to look like, as the scouts say. Peralta drives one to left field. Meadows back it up. It's off the glove and over the fence. That's a home run for David Peralta. And it's 2-0 D-backs. Meadows had it in the glove and lost it. Gone for a home run. Kept backing up, hit that wall, and the ball popped right out of the mid.
Yeah, David drives it to that opposite field. It looked like it was going to be extra bases either way, but Meadows gets there, gets the glove up, and then just tips it up and over the fence. Yeah, it hit him on the little finger of the glove and just sneaks over that yellow line.
That happened in a college game.
Florida and Auburn.
Yeah.
Florida went on to the College World Series because of a similar play.
A free jumbo jack, courtesy of Jack in the Box. Free jumbo jack tomorrow with a purchase of a large drink. Another good start for the D-backs. All smiles from the freight train. Here's Ketel Marte. Could their fortunes have changed any more than they have from May to June?
Oh, what a difference. Yeah, in May, Meadows would have done a somersault, a cartwheel, held his hand over his eyes, and still caught the ball. That time he just tips it up and over for a 2-run homer.
It's amazing. Marte, 245. He's got 4 home runs.
Yeah, National League home runs in the month of June. The Diamondbacks now with 20. The Dodgers pace the way with 26. The Pirates are dead last in the National League with 6 June homers.
Marte strikes out. D-backs strike first. Peralta's home run with a little help from Austin Meadows makes it 2-0. Trades for Austin Meadows so far in the big leagues. That one got away from him just a bit, and it created a David Peralta homer. 2-0 as we start the second inning. David's still smiling out there, chatting with some fans.
He's got a bunch of fans out there behind him. I mentioned it's camp day here at the ballpark today, and there is a bunch of little people out there in the left field bleachers, down the right field line, making a lot of noise in the ballpark today. We love it.
Yeah, a lot of energy here this afternoon. Zach Greinke coming off an 11-pitch first. Faces Colin Moran to start the second. Moran 269. He's got 5 home runs. Pittsburgh third baseman. D-backs put the shift on against the left-hand batter. He rolls it the other way. A leadoff single. Let's go down to Kate. Oh, never mind. We got a little audio issue. We'll get Dennis Lamb on that. Francisco Cervelli, his first appearance of the series. He leads the Pirates with 9 homers. Batting .266 on the year. Had to leave their game at Wrigley Field Saturday when he took a foul tip off the left side of the face mask. He had a real bruise on his jaw there for a while, but no fracture. Passed all his concussion tests, so he's back in there today.
Yeah, a foul ball that went down and hit the ground and kind of came up underneath the mask on that left side of his jaw.
Fastball just off the plate. If Cervelli doesn't like the call, the umpire will know. And we'll all know.
Yeah, I mentioned it in the last half inning. He will find a way to draw attention to himself. Sometimes to help the team, other times just because he likes the attention.
Well, you need those guys every now and then, right? It's that kind of guy. You love him if he's on your team.
That's what Ozzie Guillen said about A.J. Pierzynski when he was managing the White Sox. You know, when you're on the other side, you hate him. When he's on your team, you hate him a little less.
As only Ozzie can. Sam Holbrook said he went around on that changeup, so it's 0-2.
Whoa.
Change up in a beautiful spot. Didn't get the call from Ryan Blakeney. And Zach is noticeably upset there.
Well, that's a perfect spot. You want that changeup down, preferably at the bottom of the strike zone, but that one certainly caught zone.
He's agitated now. Threw a perfect pitch. We got a letter about that the other day.
Yeah,
I know you'll like this one.
okay.
Hold on. I got a whole stack of mail. Your staff is supposed to provide the envelope so I can give the gentleman's name. Oh, it's David Lower. It's a long 2-page letter complaining about the umpires.
I like David already.
Yeah. Bob and Steve, my name is David D. Lower. I'm 73 years old, retired, big D-backs fan, watch all the games on TV. He's noticed in little quotes here a number of missed calls on balls and strikes, and frankly, he's had it.
I'm with you, David.
Well, he's got a whole bunch of suggestions. He said, in one game I kept count a number of missed calls. I stopped at 25.
Wow.
He got too upset to continue.
Should we guess who was umpiring? Multiple choice.
Yeah, I mean, you can take your pick. He wants your automated strike zone.
You know, I was thinking about that the other day. The game is going more and more to analytics and sabermetrics, and we can measure everything, and we still use a system that is kind of a coin flip back there to call balls and strikes.
Missed badly with a curveball, and a single and a walk open up the Pittsburgh second. Now Dennis Lamb is fixed, of course, Kate's audio problem. So here she is, Kate.
Yes, Dennis is on the job, and Tori hoping Zach on the job today for the team. And I think you see his frustration not getting that call, guys. And he's doing exactly what Tori wanted him to do out there. Go out there right away, try and get some quick, easy outs like we saw in that first inning, because he knows the Pirates don't give away easy at-bats. They have the ability to be free swinging, but also work the counts. But he said he wanted Zach very early on to find the spots at the safe zones or the safe areas rather, in the zone. It looks like Zach is doing that. So hopefully, for the sake of great viewers like David, he starts to get the calls.
Good call, Kate. Yeah, well, Zach had Cervelli struck out instead. He's got 2 on and nobody out for Josh Bell. Big switch hitting first baseman. He's had a great series, Josh Bell. 3 hits last night, a couple of doubles. That was another strike, and Greinke's not getting anything high or low. Bell walked 3 times in Monday's opener. He's a guy that, as Kate mentioned, was one of their free swingers. He's kind of reined that in lately. Greinke behind 2-0. Seven straight balls. That brings Jeff Mathis out to the mound.
Maybe trying to get his focus back on each pitch rather than thinking about the strike 3 call he did not get on Francisco Cervelli. Even a veteran like Zach Greinke, that can rattle your cage a little bit. You execute a perfect pitch, you get to that pitch throughout the sequence of the at bat, and then you don't get the call.
That changeup is in there.
I'll tell you, this guy Josh Bell, 6'4", 235. He covers that entire left-handed batter's box. His left foot is on the back line, and when he takes that little short stride forward, he's almost on the front line. Really spread out.
Punches one the other way, and this is going to be trouble. Moran will come in and score. They'll stop Cervelli at third. An RBI double for Josh Bell puts the Pirates on the board.
Our nationwide vision eye on the game, a pitch by pitch of that at bat. He missed with 3 fastballs. The first one was up high, another one up high, almost the same spot. He's trying to get Josh Bell to chase that pitch up. He got a called strike on that changeup, but then left one up out over the plate, a fastball that slapped into the opposite field for a base hit.
Well, the D-backs have attacked Josh Bell in this series the way most teams do. You don't have to throw him a strike. That was the book. He'll chase outside the zone, but he's done a good job of laying off those pitches, and he's had a tremendous series as a result. And now here's Gregory Polanco, who's been a Greinke nemesis in the past. You'll remember that long home run he hit here not too long ago.
Well, for Josh Bell and Gregory Polanco, they both, for me, have the same weakness. Fastballs up. We saw Zach attacking Josh Bell up in the zone. He wouldn't bite. Polanco, however, swings at the first fastball up in the zone he sees.
Yeah, Polanco 0 for 4 last night, sat out Monday's game. He is slumping right now. Greinke an 11 pitch first with 2 strikeouts, but he is laboring here in the second. He's yet to record an out. A single, a walk, and a double. Ahead of Polanco, 0-2.
And we talk about Zach Greinke all the time, and his usual MO is to pitch to soft contact. But with the bases loaded, he's trying to strike Gregory Polanco out right here. I'm sorry, 2 runners on, second and third.
Well, Polanco this year hitting .158 with runners in scoring position. He has not had the kind of production we're used to seeing from Polanco. Didn't go on the slider, says DJ Rayburn, and it's 2-2. This is always a guy who's been a tough out for the D-backs, Gregory Polanco. Second and third, a run is in, still nobody out. Hard slider in the dirt. Polanco, 26 games against the D-backs, a career .346 hitter. 19 RBIs in those 26 games. Jordy Mercer, the shortstop, on deck. 3-ball counts to the last 3 Pirate batters for Zach Greinke. I'm a little bit more of a human element guy. I don't mind the occasional miss like you and our friend David Lower, but boy, that non-call on the changeup to Cervelli has completely changed this inning.
He had Cervelli 0-2, threw him 4 straight pitches out of the zone to walk him, had Polanco 0-2, and now the count is full here. He takes ball 4.
And the bases are loaded. Second walk in the inning for Greinke, who ever since he didn't get the call on that changeup has looked rattled out there. And the first 4 have reached in the Pittsburgh second. Here comes Mike Butcher.
I don't see anything mechanically going on with Zach. His pitches look like they always look. I think this is just a reset here for Mike Butcher. He saw what we saw. That non-strike call on the pitch to Francisco Cervelli has really turned this inning around quickly. And I said it a moment ago, but it stands true now. He's looking for a strikeout.
Really needs it. You got the pitcher on deck behind Mercer. Well, Mercer's had a good series. He's got 3 hits. He's doubled twice. The run is in, bases full, still nobody out. Starts him off with a curveball. Mercer's batting average for the year back in the middle of May had dipped below 230. But over his last 19 games, he's hitting almost 330. Doubles up on the curve and he jumps ahead 0-2. For Greinke, this is only the second time he's had a plate appearance with the bases loaded all year. So he's not used to being in this situation. Three straight curveballs.
That one, the real slow one at 69, just off the plate, trying to get Mercer to chase.
That was a heck of a meeting out there. Let's go way off the menu. Fastball, Mercer fouls it off.
That's what 3 slow curveballs will do to you as a hitter. It kind of slows everything down with those pitches coming in there in the high 60s and low 70s, and then you zip a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. It looks like it's 191. Speed him up, slow him down.
That's a fair ball down the line. Cervelli scores. Here comes Bell. Polanco stops at third. A 2-run double for Jordy Mercer. And the Pirates have a 3-2 lead.
That's one thing. When you see 3 straight curveballs to start the sequence, the 4th one doesn't surprise you that much. Fouled that fastball off to the right side, and Zach comes right back with another slow curve, and this time Mercer able to bang it down that left field line for an RBI double. Here we go again.
Yeah, you said it. The pitcher, Jamison Tyone. Punches one foul, 1-1.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Boy, Zach had an 11-pitch first. Now working on a 27-pitch second, and he's yet to record an out. Into the slider, 1-2. Right back to the mound. Look, Polanco back at third. And there's the first out of the second inning. Here comes Josh Harrison, who struck out to lead off the ball game.
And Josh Harrison is usually extremely aggressive in situations where he's got runners in scoring position. I'd expect him to attack Greinke early in the count here.
Yeah, Harrison hitting over 400 this year with runners in scoring position. Second and third, 1 out, 3 runs already in. Trying to get him to bite on the curveball. Throw to third. Polanco's back in time. You can add Josh Harrison's name to the list of visiting players who love to hit in this ballpark. Harrison, 21 games at Chase Field. He's got 10 doubles. He's hitting nearly .340 here.
Josh Harrison, a product of the University of Cincinnati. He was teammates with Tony Campana. Can you imagine those two at the top of a batting order in college?
Tony Campana could fly.
Oh, man.
We saw that a few years ago. Harrison, a 6th round pick out of UC by the Cubs back in '08. Well, the Cubs gave up on Harrison, gave up on DJ LeMahieu. They could have some pretty good second basemen. They got a pretty good one now.
Yeah. Josh Donaldson, another former Cub, was a catcher, I believe, with the Cubs before being traded.
Well, things seem to have worked out for them regardless.
Yeah, they figured it out.
They're trailing Milwaukee right now. Big NL Central matchup today. Brewers have a 1-0 lead. They're in the 7th inning.
Boy, outstanding start for Chase Anderson last night. He was dealing against the Cubbies.
Pirates are 8 games behind Milwaukee for the NL Central lead. Pittsburgh 3 under .500 for the year. 3-1 on Harrison. Good slider, and it's full 3-2. This has been a 34-pitch inning for Greinke. That's deep in the red. That's a lot of pitches for anybody in 1 inning. Jake Lamb. They get 1. Polanco crosses 4-2 Pirates.
Ball hit right to Jake Lamb down there at third base. He kind of fielded it up into his body right there and didn't think he had time to get Polanco at home plate, so he fires across the diamond to take the sure out at first.
Mercer gets in at third. 2 down for Meadows, who grounded out his first time up. Good hard changeup. Starting down and away from the left-hand batter, 1-1.
And you know, Austin Meadows would like to redeem himself for tipping that David Peralta ball over the fence out there in left field. Maybe a little overly aggressive in this at bat.
Went back to the changeup, same spot, missed that time. It's 2-1. That pitch for Zach, he often says, is not necessarily an off-speed pitch for him as much as it is a movement pitch. He gets really good movement on that changeup. And it's pretty close to the same speed he throws his fastball with. There's the slow curve, got the call that time, 2-2.
69-mile-an-hour curveball dropped right on that outside corner.
He had an 11-pitch first inning. He's now at 50 for the ball game. Under Greinke, Ahmed cleans it up. Pirates get 4. D-backs down 2. Don't forget you can participate in our 50-50 charity raffle presented by the Arizona Lottery from home along with all of us at the ballpark. Your chance to win half the pot and help kids in our community. Get your tickets online during every D-backs home game on Fox Sports Arizona at dbacks.com/5050 raffle. And stay tuned for the post-game show to find out the winning number. Pot is over $6,500 so far. Only the bottom of the second inning as Gerard Dyson leads it off against Jameson Taillon. Dyson in center field today. Walked twice and scored twice last night. Don't often see Zach Greinke have a rough inning like that, especially in this ballpark where he's been so good for so long. Polanco over in right center calls off Marte. Here's Nick Ahmed, the shortstop. Nick batting .222. He's got 9 homers. Had an RBI single in Monday's series opener. Came in late in the ball game last night. There's that big Taillon curveball.
Up at the top of the zone, too. You rarely get that pitch called strike, but Nick really jelly-legged out of the way of that one, maybe anticipating a first pitch fastball. He saw it up and in and decided to get out of the way.
Trying to bunt his way on. Moran back at third, no play. There you go. You were just talking about that last night.
Yeah. The guys that have a little bit of speed, and as you mentioned last night, we've got several guys that I consider to be really good bunters for base hit. Nick Ahmed among them. Perfectly done right there. No play for Moran at third.
And Moran is not a guy who moves around real well at third. He's a little slow-footed down there. He's a big dude. Good to have Jeff Mathis back with us behind the plate today. Our congratulations, of course, to Jeff and his wife Jenna. Welcome their second daughter into the world over the weekend. Jeff just back from paternity leave today. Youngster's already working on her pitch framing, we're told. Big cut at that fastball. Jeff walked, had an RBI triple in the win over the Rockies Friday at Coors Field. He's hit safely in 3 of his last 4 games.
You know, a lot of times a manager will hesitate to do anything as far as hitting and running or stealing with the number 8 hitter and the pitcher on deck. But Zach Greinke's not a typical hitting pitcher. He can swing that bat.
Sure can. There's that hard slider that Tyone's picked up. 1 and 2. You'll see it sometimes upper 80s, sometimes low 90s. He likes to play around with it a little bit. He'll change the velocity of it. He'll change the shape. Sometimes he'll throw it a little harder, a little sharper, tighter to get a strike with it. Other times it looks a little more loopy like you usually see a slider. Went to the breaking ball. Didn't go, says Sam Holbrook. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jeff Mathis.
Hey fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
D-backs got 2 in the bottom of the first. Pirates answered with 4 in the top of the second. Fastball missed, and Mathis has worked it full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Greinke will be next. Way up in the air behind second for Harrison. We'll see if Zach can extend the inning here. 227 on the year. He does have 5 hits, couple of doubles. He's knocked in 3 runs. He gets a first pitch fastball. He might be just trying to knock it back up the box. We've seen him do that. And there it is. Got the fastball, knocked it into center.
Every hitter for the Diamondbacks in that third base dugout is saying it's not that easy. Zach goes up there, gets a fastball middle of the plate and bangs it into center field. We've seen him do that a lot this year.
A lot of pitchers make that mistake against Zach Greinke. They think, you'll okay, get the cookie, get ahead, no 0-1, but not so much with Zach Greinke. 2 on, 2 out for Jay, who singled and scored his first time up after his 3-hit night last night. Curveball misses up.
I mentioned this is David Peralta earlier in the ball game, off the glove of Austin Meadows, up and over the fence out there in left field. Oh man, that barely cleared even after it hit his glove.
That made it 2-0 D-backs in the bottom of the first. Pirates got 4 in the top of the second. They have really liked John Jay's approach. He has been very much as advertised. He is consistent up there. He's on a lot of pitches. And they brought him in here to be a catalyst at the top of the lineup, and he has done that in a handful of games so far. Really good at bats. That one gets off the glove of Cervelli. Everybody moves up, and now a single could maybe tie the ball game. Bounce right off the mitt.
Yeah, sure looked like a pass ball that time. Maybe Cervelli fooled by the movement, not quite sure, but just didn't make the play that time. Off the glove all the way to the backstop. A couple guys in scoring position for John Jay now.
Ahmed at third, Greinke at second, 2 outs, 3 and 1 on Jay. Goldie on deck. Really buried that fastball in there that time. Here comes Goldie with the bases full. Another good at bat by John Jay. And he flied out to center after a long battle with Taillon, his first time up. Ahmed is at third. The pitcher Greinke's at second. John Jay's at first. Bases full, 2 outs.
D-backs still looking for their first grand slam of the 2018 season.
I can't think of a better time. Good curveball right there. Caught the corner.
I mentioned this stat last night. On opening day, the Diamondbacks were 2 for 5 with the bases loaded. Since then, they're 3 for 39, including a base hit in the ball game last night. That's a .095 batting average with the bases loaded.
There's that hard version of the Taillon slider at 91. Really making an effort to keep it down against Goldie here. We've seen the curveball, the slider, the fastball so far. Fastball missed. 2-2. Goldie riding an 8-game hitting streak right now, and during that 8-game streak he's hitting .576. 6 doubles, a triple, and 4 homers. Two is fouled back. Well, these guys have had 2 long battles so far. Tyone and Goldie from the same high school outside Houston. Lamb would be next. Here's the 2-2. Bullied him inside with a fastball. Gets an enormous strikeout. D-backs strand 3. It stays 4-2 Pittsburgh. World Cup in Russia, only hours away. Here's a first look at the Fox Sports studio at Red Square in Moscow. Rob Stone hosting down there. Impressive backdrop of the Cathedral of St. Basil the Blessed. 2018 FIFA World Cup comes to Fox and FS1 every match live. 300 hours of coverage of the world's biggest sporting event. It begins tomorrow on Fox and FS1. I want you to make, I know you've been poring over the material. You've really absorbed a lot of it. I want you to go right now and make a pick. You haven't done that yet. You've given us some underdogs to watch, some dark horses, some favorite teams, players, but give us your pick to win the World Cup.
Well, my heart says Brazil because of Neymar and all we've talked about with him the last couple days. He's back, he's active, he's playing well, even with the injured foot. But Germany's going to be tough to beat. I mean,
wait a minute. What? He's got a. You're reading that from a newspaper.
It's a cheat sheet, yeah.
I thought that was all off the top of your head.
Well, after I read the paper, it is. But, you know, I pulled this out of one of the papers. Sports Ready. World Cup, you know, I'm just trying to catch up. For crying out loud.
You're like the guy in San Francisco switching jerseys.
Germany's my team.
All right. At least I got you to commit to that. Is that what it says in the paper?
Yeah.
All right, you're in there with the Germans. Starling Marte 2-1. Wow, your staff is sneaking you the sports section now. Dyson comes in from center. Well, Zach Greinke, what a contrast. He had an 11-pitch first inning. He had a 40-pitch second inning, only the 5th time in his career in more than 2,500 career innings that he has thrown at least 40 pitches in one inning.
Wow.
The last time was September of 2016 against the Giants. He had a 41-pitch 6th. Today, a 40-pitch second. Colin Moran, the third baseman.
That's been a common problem lately. I mean, the Diamondbacks have scored 8 or more runs in the last 5 games, but the starting pitching just hasn't been able to get deep enough into the ball game. On Friday, 5 2/3, Saturday 5 innings, Sunday 5 2/3, on Monday 5 1/3, and last night Clay Buchholz only 4 innings in the game, so that puts a lot of pressure on the bullpen, and certainly the offense has done their share.
Clay was really laboring last night. 87 pitches to get through 4 innings. It's a tired bullpen back there for sure.
Well, the Diamondbacks, it goes without saying they could use somebody, whether it's Zach Greinke or somebody else in the rotation, to go out there and go 8 or 9 innings just to give that bullpen almost a complete day off. He's tried to mix and match as best he can, trying to rest some guys on certain days. And of course, coming out of Colorado, we know how careful they are about workloads coming out of Colorado. So a little thin down there.
Just saw a shot of Matt Cook. He'll get the start tomorrow against the Mets tomorrow night against Steven Matz. And then Friday, Zach Godley and Seth Lugo, Patrick Corbin, Jason Vargas on Saturday, Clay Buchholz, Zach Wheeler on Sunday. So that's good news. Don't get Syndergaard, don't get DeGrom in that series. So it caught a major break right there.
Take your breaks where you get them.
Boy, DeGrom just carved us up at Citi Field. He was impressive. A lot of talk in New York that they should trade him. Some of the writers. Look, you're not going anywhere. They just let Adrian Gonzalez go the other day. Trade DeGrom and restock. Oh, strike 3. That was way off the plate, but he got the call from Ryan Blakeney.
Well, trying to restore order here as far as the pitch count goes. He gets some help from the home plate umpire on that strike 3.
Could have used that in the second.
A couple of quick pitch innings here, and you know Zach will be right back on schedule after that 40 pitch second.
Cervelli, the catcher, walked and scored his first time. Greinke slider, swing and a miss, 0-1. Got to get these campers, got to give them something to get excited about here. Let's get the volume in this place cranked up. Got a good crowd here this afternoon. Full of kids at the ballpark. Love to see that. All in the color coordinated T-shirts by the camps.
From all over the valley.
Pinks and oranges and blues and yellows and greens out there. Fastball right at the knees. You can see Cervelli, maybe not that thrilled. Some of the youngsters a little more locked in than others.
I got a feeling after a day full of cotton candy and sugared soda, these kids are going to be up for a while.
Ooh. Late time granted by Ryan Blakeney.
I'm not sure who requested it right there. Normally a hitter will take a hand off the bat and hold it up to the umpire, but you see Cervelli's assuming his stance in there. He's ready to hit. I think the only one that wasn't ready was Ryan Blakeney.
Way out in front of that Ephus pitch. Oh, there's your nice quick 1-2-3 third. Needed that. D-backs down 4-2. 2018 Camping World MLB All-Star Ballot is open. It's only online. Make sure your favorite D-backs are there. You can vote at dbacks.com/vote. And remember, catch all the excitement of the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard. July 17th. It's live on Fox. Jake Lamb leads off the D-backs third against Jameson Taillon. Jake flying out his first time up. D-backs with 2 in the bottom of the first. Pirates got 4 in the top of the second. Shift is on. Slow curveball away. And Taillon has reached 50 pitches. There's the hard slider. 1-2. That's hit hard. One hop. Belled high to Bell. Knocks it down. Taillon covers and they retire Lamb. Josh Bell, a converted outfielder. They figured he could handle first base. So it's still a little bit of a work in progress defensively. Needed to find a spot for that bat. David Peralta had this home run in the bottom of the first. Watch the left fielder Austin Meadows. It's in the glove and then it's not.
Not quite as bad as Jose Canseco, but that's not how you want to make the highlight reels.
You just had that as one of your this day in histories not too long ago. 25 years ago, Jose Canseco off the head in Cleveland. Mercer was positioned perfectly that time. Peralta hit it hard up the middle, but it's out number 2.
Yeah, we mentioned Jose Canseco's misplay. Let's just call it a misplay in right field. High fly ball. He goes back to the warning track. He's back near the wall. It's off his head and over the fence.
That one hit by Jose Martinez, whose son is now the first baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals. We saw him earlier this year.
Canseco was not in there for his glove. He rarely used the glove.
You know, he might be, in all seriousness, now he was a guy they talked about was going to win the Triple Crown. He was going to be a 40-40, 50-50 guy. I think he's more famous for that.
Yeah. More people probably remember him for that. Didn't he take up boxing for a while? Wasn't he some kind of a celebrity fight circuit or something?
Yeah, he was writing books for a while or having them written for him, something. Who knows?
I thought you had to read one before you could write one.
Hello. Fastball missed in. Remember those? It was the Bash Brothers, right? He and McGuire would slam forearms for Tony La Russa's A's teams in the late 80s, early 90s. Taillon tried to change up that time. He really doesn't have a good one. That's why he went to that slider. Still, every once in a while, he'll try it, but he just doesn't feel good about it. Marte slaps it the other way. Mercer can't pick it up, and Ketel's aboard. That's a base hit.
That'll work. A little ground ball to the left side. I don't believe Mercer had any play at first base, even if he comes up with it cleanly that time. So Ketel Marte will be credited with an infield single.
Chance for Gerard Dyson. D-backs have out-hit Pittsburgh 5-3, but they trail it 4-2. Dyson trying to bunt his way on. I would bunt it at Colin Moran all day long. That is not a bad way to go. He's a little slow-footed down there. We've seen a few balls hit hard, but some balls get by him in this series. Fastball's right there. 0-2.
From our center field camera, you can peek right into the glove of Jamison Tyone as he searches for the grip on the baseball. Watch him as he brings that throwing hand up into the glove. He'll spin the ball around till he finds the correct seam to throw whatever pitch is coming up next. Curveball.
Is that when guys sometimes inadvertently tip their pitches?
Occasionally they'll fan their glove so their hand can move around the baseball. Occasionally the finger will come off the back of the glove. Sometimes just the wiggling of the glove itself tells you that he's going to some kind of an off-speed pitch. That's why you see so many pitchers nowadays flap their glove on every delivery.
And Zach Godley does that.
Yep.
That used to happen, I believe, to Andy Pettit. When he would put the glove up in front of his face, sometimes it would be open, sometimes closed.
You see him spinning it around, trying to find the seams he wants to grab the grip on that baseball. Tim McCarver, our buddy, used to call Greg Maddux. He said he sees with his fingers. Doesn't even have to look at the baseball. He knows from years and years of gripping that ball and throwing different pitches exactly where he wants to be on those seams.
Right to Bell. It stays fair. He steps on the bag. We head to the fourth inning. D-backs trail the Pirates 4-2.
The top half of the fourth inning. Hey, if you're tired of buying ties for Dad, just bring him out here to the ballpark this weekend. There's great seats available for this Sunday's D-backs Mets game at 1 o'clock. Arrive early and Dad will take home a D-backs Hawaiian shirt courtesy of Tyson Foods. Visit dbacks.com/dad.
There's Josh Bell to lead off the fourth inning. We got a lot of reasons to come down here on Sunday, because not only do you get that great looking shirt, but we have this as special for Father's Day. This is the apple pie chimichanga.
Oh yeah.
This is only at the ballpark on Sunday. This thing is dynamite.
You may hear a little bit of silence for the next inning or so.
Or some chewing.
Sure smells good.
So dbacks.com. Come on out, Dad's Day. D-backs and Mets. Clay Buchholz versus Zach Wheeler.
Yeah, Dads can run the bases after the game on Sunday.
Right to Nick Ahmed. That's actually now 7 straight retired by Zach Greinke. This is how they make the Father's Day only apple pie chimichanga right here at the ballpark. Your staff, however, has neglected to bring us any forks. They always lose the details. You're supposed to eat it with your hand, but there's ice cream in there, fried apple pie, strawberries in there, whipped cream. Look at that, huh?
Looks like breakfast on Father's Day to me.
Gregory Polanco walked and scored his first time, part of that 4-run Pittsburgh second when Greinke threw 40 pitches in that second inning. D-backs looking for the 3-game sweep. They'll have some work to do, trailing 4-2. It would be their first sweep of the Pirates since 2009 and their first sweep of Pittsburgh here at Chase Field in 12 years. Jammed him with a fastball, popped it up behind the screen. Diamondbacks 8 games over 500. Holding a 3-game lead over the Dodgers on top of the National League West. LA has Kenta Maeda on the mound at Dodger Stadium today against the Texas Rangers. The Rockies are in Philadelphia, the Giants in Miami. 2-2. Jordy Mercer on deck. Well, he's gone to that ephus pitch a whole bunch so far. It's working out. 5 strikeouts.
Now you really have to be careful with that off-speed breaking pitch to Polanco. I mentioned it before game 1 of this series. He's got a long loopy swing, and occasionally those off-speed pitches are right in the middle of his uppercut hack, but that time Zach took just enough off that curveball to get him out front.
Here's Jordy Mercer. You know, more I think about that Father's Day thing. You bring Dad down to the ballpark. We already had our entrance to get into the play catch down on the field deal. You get your shirt, you get your chimichanga, and then you run the bases after the game. That one's over the fence and gone for Jordy Mercer, his 4th of the year, and it's 5-2 Pittsburgh. Well, Greinke had retired 8 straight, but Mercer extends the lead.
Fastball up and out over the plate at 89. Jordy Mercer hitting down in the 8th spot for the Pirates, kind of hiding down there at the bottom of the order. Kind of reminds me of a guy named Craig Reynolds. He used to play shortstop for the Houston Astros back in the day. He always hit in the 8th spot in the lineup, and we always just challenged him with fastballs, and that's the only pitch he could hit.
Well, Mercer's got 5 hits in the series, 3 doubles and a home run. Not bad for a number 8 hitter. Here's the pitcher, Tyone. That's the 14th home run given up this year by Zach Greinke. This is start number 14 for Zach. So you still have time to get your tickets for Sunday. dbacks.com/dad. Get that D-backs Hawaiian shirt. Come on down, have a chimichanga. We'll regroup as we head to the bottom of the 4th. D-backs trail at 5-2.
all military by sharing a photo or video with hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Hey fans, today we are participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every home run in this game raises money for prostate cancer research. Since June 1st, over $1.35 million has been raised in the challenge. You can make a pledge by going to homerunchallenege.org.
Well, I think you and I should enter a apple pie chimichanga speed eating contest.
Hey, I'm telling you what, Dads, you want to get out here on Sunday because these apple pie chimichangas are pretty darn good.
Man, there's like chocolate sauce and whipped cream all over the booth. Those are
cinnamon
really
sugar,
good.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Ugh.
So here's Ahmed, who singled his first time up today, leads off the fourth. Tell you what, we know how to feed you when you come down to Chase Field.
Absolutely. Whatever it is that your heart desires, we've got something close to it here.
That is good stuff.
Now, an apple pie chimichanga and a cold Dad's adult beverage. Life's good. If they eat a couple of these on Sunday, they're going to need to run the bases after the game.
You're right. That's going to be a fun day. It's always great to see dads come out to the ballpark. I know one of your staff was talking about their neighbors coming down. They got a son coming down from Flagstaff, going to catch on the field. Don't get the chance to do that too often. Play catch on a big league ball field. The day of a game. That one off the mid of Cervelli. Cervelli saying it was a foul ball. He wants him to check. He's right.
He's got a case.
Clint Hurdle coming out to talk to Ryan Blakeney.
I'm sure Cervelli's argument is if he didn't make contact with it, I would have caught it. But it did just catch a piece of Nick's bat and then off the side of the catcher's mitt.
I'm not sure that's reviewable. I don't think it is.
And once again, we've got the ability to get them all right, but let's just get some of them right.
Catcher's interference and or foul tip is not subject to review. This is a high fly ball to left center. Meadows is out there safely away from the fence. Yeah, foul tip is not reviewable. Here's Jeff Mathis. Jeff Mathis just became a dad again over the weekend, back from paternity leave. Taillon at 70 pitches, 45 strikes. He has walked 1, struck out 2. D-backs have out hit the Pirates 5-4, but they're down 5-2.
Yeah, Jeff's daughter Sage now has a new playmate.
Boy, Jeff has taken some big time cuts at a fastball when he's seen one. He's not getting cheated up there. There's the hard slider from Taillon, and he gets his 3rd strikeout.
Well, when this guy figures out how good he really is, he is going to be a handful for the National League. He's got quality stuff. 3+ pitches, throws hard. Seems like he's got a little bit of Texas attitude on him out there on the mound.
He does have that. He was very verbal about the whole beanball retaliation thing earlier this week. He went on record with reporters as saying, absolutely, that's what we got to do. And I got no problem doing it if I'm out there, he said. He does not lack for confidence. Pirates seem to like those types of guys. Guys with a little edge to them, like we talked about.
Yeah, we mentioned that Taillon was the second overall pick in that 2010 draft. That was a really good draft. There's some superstar players in that draft. Bryce Harper was the #1 pick that year. Manny Machado was the 3rd pick. Let's go on down the list here. We've got Drew Pomerantz, Matt Harvey, Delino DeShields Jr.
Good pitcher.
Yasmani Grandal, Chris Sale, Dylan Covey.
Wow.
I mean, it just goes on and on. A lot of real. Mike Fultonevich from the Braves. Christian Yelich was taken in the 1st round that year, 23rd pick by the Marlins.
And wow, that's impressive that Taillon in a year like that was taken #2 ahead of almost all those guys. Fastball is low, but he got the call. He's got 4 strikeouts. D-backs down 5-2.
Todos los días es un reto porque es algo tan increíble como los niños hacen algo nuevo cada día. Para mí en el principio fue un reto cambiar los pañales. Cambiar los pañales y mira, fue un reto muy grande por el olor de los pañales cuando los niños hacen, tenía que estar así. Y todavía, pero es un reto, pero de verdad que eso cada día lo disfruto, pero para mí todos los días es un reto y cada día que pasa me enamoro más de mi niña.
Very proud new dad, David Peralta. Spanish language broadcast the other day, a news conference. D-back Spanish broadcast is back. Fox Sports Arizona Plus Saturday during the Mets series. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock. Here's Josh Harrison, the great Oscar Soria, Rodrigo Lopez on the call, along with the former mayor of Benson, Arizona. There he is, Mr. Mayor and Rodrigo. There's Oscar.
Mr. Mayor looked like he was campaigning in there.
He's always campaigning for something. Coverage in Spanish starts at 7 o'clock Saturday. Fox Sports Arizona Plus. That's brought to you by your Valley Honda dealers and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. You can find your Plus channel listing and the 25-game Spanish schedule at foxsportsarizona.com. 1-2 on Harrison. Greinke 80 pitches, 53 strikes. He has walked 2, struck out 6. This is hit toward Peralta, and David able to run it down.
It's a lot easier than changing diapers. Nice play out there in left field by David Peralta. That's a common problem with all new parents. The aroma. Ball hooking away from him. David stays right on it, takes a couple of extra steps, makes the catch about belt high.
I'll tell you what, since Mercer's 2-run double in that second inning, Greinke's only given up 1 hit. That was the Mercer homer in the previous half inning.
Now Zach up to 81 pitches in the ball game. Half of them came in the second inning.
Yeah, he has retired 10 of the last 11 batters he's faced. He gets ahead of Austin Meadows here, 0-1. Meadows is another high Pirate pick. Talked about how Taillon was the number 2 pick in the draft. Meadows was selected 9th overall in 2013 out of high school in Loganville, Georgia. And he has really looked good. He's an impressive looking player despite his home run assistance play earlier in the ball game. He looks like a hitter. He's only 22 games into his big league career. He's hitting just about .340. That one's foul. In fact, according to Elias, only the 5th player to debut in the expansion era, which is since 1961, to hit .400 with at least 4 homers in his first 40 major league at bats. And some other guys on that list: Albert Pujols and Yasiel Puig. That's how good Meadows has been so far. Fastball, thought he might get the call there. Meadows didn't bite. It's 2-2. Starling Marte on deck. Left that changeup out there. Meadows fights it off. Not used to seeing Zach Greinke trailing in this ballpark. 7 home starts this year. Zach is 3-0 with a 1.64 ERA. He went 13-1 here last year. Well, we've seen a whole bunch of the Ephus here today. He's got 7 strikeouts.
I think that might be the slowest curveball we've seen from Zach Greinke today. It's 68 miles an hour, just below the bottom of the strike zone.
He has struck out 5 of the last 8 he's faced. And that curveball's been a big part of that. Base is empty. 2 down for Marte, who's 0 for 2.
You mentioned 7 punch outs for Zach on the day. 4 have come on curveballs, 2 on sliders, and 1 on a fastball.
Fastball's in. It's 2-0 on Starling Marte. Marte, 4 hits, 5 RBIs in this series. He homered here last night. Slider down. Greinke now at 90 pitches. Well, if you can get Marte right here quickly, maybe you can extend him 1 more inning. This is launched to center. That's off the wall. It's another double for Starling Marte. That's his 3rd double in this series.
Oh, that made that sound coming off the bat. I thought that one was headed for the home run porch out there just to the right of straightaway center field. Dyson chases it all the way back to the wall and then backs off to play the carom. I think Marte thought he got enough of it to hit it out of here, but you can see it clearly hits below the yellow line and the home run porch.
He just missed it. Colin Moran has singled and struck out, the third baseman. D-backs, when they activated Jeff Mathis from the paternity list today, sent Braden Shipley back to Reno. Braden had been there to give Torey Lovullo some length. He pitched in the first 2 games of this series. So the already tired bullpen got a little thinner this morning. There was another eephus from Greinke. He had missed. It's 1-1.
Well, we've seen a lot of doubles in this series. Colin Moran at the plate has 11 on this season. He trails Brian Anderson of the Marlins by 7 for the National League lead. Anderson with 18. Then you look over the American League. Eduardo Escobar for the Twins has 26 doubles already.
Big ballpark at Target Field. Anderson's a good looking young hitter.
Yeah, he really is.
We saw him on the last homestand. Giants are at Miami again. They're struggling to beat the Marlins. That one is not yet underway. The Rockies are in Philadelphia. Dodgers at home again today, hosting Texas. Colin Moran was another high draft pick. Pirates have a bunch of these guys. He was drafted 6th overall in 2013. He was not a Pirate pick, however. He was selected by the Marlins. Pirates got him in a trade from the Houston Astros. There's a walk from Greinke. So much for getting out of this inning quickly. A double and a walk with 2 outs brings up Francisco Cervelli. Cervelli has walked and struck out. Mike Vetter is answering the inevitable phone call, the way this thing's been going.
A strategy session out there in front of the mound. Zach Greinke calls out Jeff Mathis to talk over how they want to attack Francisco Cervelli in this situation and maybe just get a little bit of a blow. He's really had to work hard today. Up to 98 pitches in the ball game.
And things start to get lively down in the bullpen. There's the left-hander TJ McFarland. TJ is the long man. Greinke made the final out in the bottom of the 4th inning, so his spot's not due up for a while. Torey Lovullo was talking about that not too long ago. TJ McFarland, because they haven't had Randall Delgado. TJ's been the only long man back there, so when you get Delgado back, that's going to change the way that Torey uses TJ. He can rely on him to get some bigger outs and not have to save him in case he needs, 3-4 innings in one shot. He's had to hold back on TJ sometimes because there was no one else. But when Delgado comes back, he'll have more flexibility. 100 pitches from Greinke. And now he's behind on the Pirate catcher, 3-0, 58 for strikes. He has walked 3, struck out 7. He was cruising, got Harrison, got Meadows, but then Marte doubled high off the wall. He lost Moran. Now behind on Cervelli, 3-0. And he walked him suddenly. With 2 outs, the Pirates have loaded the bases for Josh Bell. And that's going to be it for Zach. It was that 40-pitch second inning that did him in when the Pirates scored 4. And he will leave trailing 5-2 in the 5th with the bases full. Back after this.
Back, and he's ready to take on the greatest golfers in the world at the 118th U.S. Open. Live coverage begins this Thursday from Shinnecock Hills on Fox, FS1, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Boy, what a week for Fox. You've got the World Cup and the U.S. Open all set to get underway tomorrow. Zach Greinke leaves them loaded for T.J. McFarland, who's on from the bullpen, trying to get out of this bases loaded 2-out jam. And hopefully give Torey Lovullo multiple innings here today.
That turns Josh Bell around to the right side. We've talked about it throughout this series. His power has all come as a left-handed hitter. And also you got a ground ball pitcher on the mound right now looking to get that ground ball to one of his infielders.
Bell has an RBI double. He's lined out to shortstop. He's had a very good series. In fact, he has reached base now in 11 of his last 15 plate appearances. He's a big guy up there, 6'4", 235. Last season, 26 homers. He knocked in 90 runs.
And just as spread out in the right-handed batter's box as he is in the left-handed batter's box.
Boy, TJ, that's right where he makes his money. Everything is down, down, down.
Good change up that time. Got Josh Bell way out in front.
Trying to keep it a 5-2 ball game here in the 5th. Funny thing about Bell's power all being from the left side, he is a natural right-hand hitter. He's got Marte at third, Moran at second, and Cervelli at first. Waves at a fastball. TJ comes in, puts out the fire. He leaves them loaded. It stays 5-2 Pittsburgh.
I'm Kate Longworth. Diamondbacks trail by 3 as we head to the bottom of the 5th, with them trying to even the score and of course take the lead. And lucky for the D-backs, reinforcements are on the way, or at least on the mend. A lengthy list of injuries to coming your way, so hopefully you're taking notes. Jorge De La Rosa did work a little PFP rather into his pregame today, taking ground balls off the mound. Steven Souza Jr. started his throwing program as he threw from 45 feet for roughly 5 minutes. An MRI this week showed that right pec is coming along. He will have another MRI next week and hopes to get full clearance to get going. Meanwhile, AJ is working on his range of motion. Guys, there's still game to be played, but updates on the pitchers will come throughout this inning as they will be making some rehab starts this week.
Yeah, Robbie is up, I think, Thursday. Shelby again over the weekend. Randall Delgado is still working his way back. Here's Goldie 0 for 2. John Jay grounds out to lead off the home half of the 5th against Jamison Tyone, who's got a 5-2 lead. Tyone's biggest out came against Goldie in the 2nd inning. He struck him out with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Low fastball just caught the bottom of the zone. Goldie not thrilled with that one, but it showed up as a strike on our computer.
Yeah, we talked about Tyone earlier. When he gets that ball going downhill, using his full height out there on the rubber at 96 at the bottom of the knees, it looks way low.
Got the slider that time, the harder version, and knocked it into center, a 1-out single.
Yeah, Jake Lamb making his way to the plate in that 2nd inning of the ball game last night. If you were watching, you'll know that Jake got jammed badly right here. Fastball in, gets in on his hands below the trademark, and you see that barrel whirly-birding out across the infield. This is that bat. I mean, it split about as clean as you can possibly split in half right there. And the good thing is, if you're a fan and you like to collect memorabilia, you can buy this bat tomorrow. Down at the Authentic Shop at the main gate, they have game-used uniforms and bats and bases and shoes. And if you'd like to buy Jake Lamb's broken bat, it'll be down there later today.
Should we have you sign it? Maybe we can do that.
We'll take
the
value
deal
down a little bit.
Meadows
Yeah, and all the proceeds down there at the Authentic Shop go to Diamondbacks charity. So yeah, if you got a favorite player, you want to check and see if there's a uniform down there, maybe a pair of shoes. You never know.
How about this Dyson one? Now I notice you have another one up here.
Yeah, this one didn't make it quite so well out of the battle yesterday. Zumbaya right there, Gerard Dyson, and look how this one split.
That's kindling.
Yeah, it really is.
Wow, that maple, right? Maple,
yeah, these maple bats. They, you know, they've quality control is much better than when the maple bats initially made their appearance in Major League Baseball. They were exploding, and barrels and handles were flying up into the stands. There was always a threat of somebody getting injured with broken bats, but Major League Baseball has done a much better job of quality control for these bat companies to make sure that doesn't happen as often.
Yeah, so if you're a collector, they don't just throw this stuff out to keep most of it, and you can come down and check it out here at Chase Field and purchase one. Harrison at second, and Taillon is through 5 with a 5-2 lead. A lot of youngsters with us today for the series finale. D-backs and the Pirates. A-fans plan now to celebrate Independence Day right here at Chase Field. July 4, the D-backs and the Cardinals. It's a 7 o'clock start. And post-game, the roof opens up for the biggest and best fireworks spectacular in town. It's presented, as always, by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. Visit dbacks.com for more information. That is always a big-time show.
Oh, yeah. There may be other fireworks shows around the valley, but only one fireworks spectacular.
Got music to accompany it and open up the roof. Nice, comfortable seat. Polanco leads off the 6th against TJ McFarland. I was reading a little bit more from our letter from our fan David D. Lower, who wrote us about the automated strike zone. He's with you. He's had it. He's got a whole system worked out. He wants a strike box that would be set up somehow technologically to relay information to the home plate umpire. And any ball, he says, entering the strike box or hitting any part of the sides, a ding is relayed to the home plate umpire. That one gets by TJ. Marte has to charge, and Polanco runs well, beats it out. Not much they could do on that one.
Playing deep in the pull shift right there, has to come a long way to get to that ball. Too far away from the bag at first to just shovel from glove to glove, and in the time it took Marte to make that quick exchange, that's all the time Polanco needed to beat that out.
I think David is on to the technology that eventually they'll use at some point if they go automated strike zone. You've got a manager or a coach who gets a, as he says, a Secret Service type earpiece, and everybody hears either the ding or the buzz depending on ball or strike. Is that the kind of thing you're working toward?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, you know, we've got all this technology. There's a number of websites out there that will tell you exactly how many fractions of an inch a pitch is out of the strike zone. I just think we need to use it.
Well, here's Jordy Mercer, who's had a big day, a 2-run double in the second. And then with 2 outs in the fourth after Greinke had retired 8 straight, this opposite field home run.
Just barreled up a fastball up and out over the plate, snuck it over the fence out there in right center at the 376 mark.
5 hits in the series, 3 doubles and a homer for Jordy Mercer. So anyway, we want to thank our friend David D. Lower for writing in. Anytime you want to write us a letter, we actually answer letters. We don't like emails. Well, one of us doesn't handle the technology all that well. I'm not going to mention any names. So just drop us a letter here, Chase Field, 401 East Jefferson in Phoenix, 85004, and we'll try and read it on the air. Got a letter from Don Barton, who wanted in Florence, who wants a Jody Jackson bobblehead. That's a great idea.
I wonder what that would look like.
Well, he has a few suggestions. Jody, he wants Jody holding the microphone, and you just sort of push down on her head and it bobbles, and she's got a microphone and a cord, maybe a headset. I think that's a great idea from Don Barton in Florence. Thanks, Don. He watches all the games, he says. We appreciate that. 2-2 on the Pirates shortstop. Goldie's got it. Ahmed for 1. And they turn the double play. Nobody turns a 3-6-3 better than Paul Goldschmidt.
There's just so much going on as a first baseman. Number 1, catch the ball. Number 2, make a good throw and don't hit the runner, and then get back to the bag to take the relay throw. And you're right, nobody does it as good as Goldie, especially for right-handed throwing first baseman.
Because that's never an easy throw, right?
Oh, no.
Might hit the runner. You got to get the right angle. The pitcher Tyone will bat for himself. He's thrown 89 pitches in the ball game, hitting in the top of the 6th with 2 outs.
Tyone looks like he'd rather be doing just about anything else other than taking this at bat.
Why do you say that?
He's one of those pitchers that he just doesn't look like he really wants to see anything middle of the plate in. Just throw me 3 fastballs on the outside corner and I'll go back out to the mound. Steps in the bucket, that front hip, front shoulder goes flying out of there, which is understandable. He probably didn't hit much in high school. I mean, some pitchers get in that batter's box like Zach Greinke, and you know there's a lot of other ones around the game. You have to pitch them carefully because they can handle the bat. Tyone not quite to that point yet.
Do you think we'll eventually get to a place where there's a universal DH?
I don't know. That's a good argument that's going on and on and on. I did see an argument for the DH. I wish I could give credit where credit is due, but I can't remember who wrote the article. There used to be a distinct separation between the American League and the National League. We'll get into that after the next inning.
Bottom 6 all the way. D-backs trail the Pirates by 3.
The bottom half of the 6th inning. While we have a moment, let's take a look at this day in baseball history, brought to you by Geico. We go back to June 13th, 1973. Steve Garvey, Davey Lopes, Ron Cey, and Bill Russell played their first game together as a unit for the Dodgers in the infield. They played together for 8.5 seasons.
Basically the whole rest of that decade.
Yeah,
and
you
then
want to talk about being very familiar with your teammates and what they're capable of doing. You won't see that kind of longevity for a group ever again.
We see the Penguin from time to time when we go to LA. Steve Garvey's there a lot too. Ketel Marte leads off the D-backs 6th. Each team with 6 hits, but the Diamondbacks are down 5-2 here against youngster Jamison Tyone, who has walked 1, struck out 4. Marte has struck out in single. So what were you saying about the DH?
I read an article, like I said, I wish I could attribute it, but they were saying that, you know, there was always a separation, the American League game and the National League game. You have to know how to use your bench. You have to know when to pinch hit and when to double switch, as Marte slaps one out to Meadows in left field for out number 1. But because the game has changed the way it has, there's not as much strategy involved. You don't see sacrifice bunts anymore. You rarely see hit and runs. You rarely see stolen bases. Pitchers are on pitch counts. So a lot of the decisions that used to separate the National League from the American League are gone.
Gerard Dyson, Torey Lovullo talks a lot about that. There's a big difference between managing American League and National, that's for sure. A whole lot more to think about over here than he had to during his tenure filling in for John Farrell in Boston, running the ball club for half a season. Double switches and when to get guys up and when to hit for a pitcher, when to let him hit. American League, a lot of times that decision is made for you, or there's no decision at all, as you said. Harrison at second. Well, if you're a subscriber to the Athletic website, I would highly recommend you read the article today by the great Jason Stark, entitled "How MLB Expansion Could Lead to Realignment," a new playoff format, a universal DH, and a whole lot more. Jason was looking ahead at the future baseball landscape based on some things that Commissioner Rob Manfred has said lately. And they are very serious about looking at 32 teams. And once you get to 32, everything's even. Scheduling becomes a lot easier. Then you start rearranging divisions and leagues and changing all kinds of stuff. And it's a fascinating read, and it makes a whole lot of sense. And right now, according to Jason, the two cities that might have the best shot to get an expansion team once they solve stadium issues in Oakland and Tampa Bay would be Portland, Oregon, and Charlotte, North Carolina.
I know we talked earlier this season about Montreal wanting to get back into Major League Baseball. They've got a solid core of fans and a group that want to build a new ballpark in Montreal and try to lure a team back up there.
Yeah, that would be great. I would love to go there. I managed to get to some Expo games before they moved to Washington, but apparently there's the political enthusiasm doesn't quite match the fans' enthusiasm up there. So they're on the list, but they're rated as the 4th best opportunity, behind Portland, Charlotte, and Nashville. And once you get 2 more teams, then you got 32. Then you can start realigning everything geographically. This is hit deep to right field. Polanco's got it just shy of the warning track. We head to the 7th inning. D-backs down 5-2. Greinke after a single by Moran, a walk to Cervelli. Josh Bell doubles down the line to bring home some Pirate runs. Polanco walked, then Mercer a 2-run double. Pittsburgh had a 4-run second as Greinke threw 40 pitches in that second inning after an 11-pitch first. D-backs had a 2-0 lead. They trailed at 4-2. It's now 5-2 after Mercer tacked on a solo homer in the 4th. He's knocked in 3 runs. Now Harrison leads off the 7th against T.J. McFarland, who came on to relieve Greinke with 2 outs in the 5th. Harrison had an RBI ground out in that inning. He's 0 for 3 today. Hit hard right at Jay.
Hey, fans receive 15% off at the Chase Field Team Shop when you use the card by Gila River Casino. Sign up for the card today.
Austin Meadows 0 for 3. D-backs have the shift on against the left-hand batter. Talked a little bit about Jason Stark's article in The Athletic today. Fairly radical idea. Here's a radical idea. A letter we got from our friend Chris Holgren in Mesa. Chris, thanks for your letter. He says, I get the rock and roll references that Coach Brenly makes. I also get the Game of Thrones Caddyshack references that Mr. Berthew makes. You guys are a lot of fun. Thanks for that, Chris. But he's got a suggestion for you. He wants to start the Craig Counsell Award that you will present.
Wow.
Now, Chris says he's always loved Craig Counsell's focus on fundamentals. Former D-back, of course. Loved his knowledge of the game. Loved he was always trying to find a way to be valuable to his team. And he says he thinks there's a place in baseball for recognizing those kinds of players. So he wants to start based on that criteria, the Craig Counsell Award. Your thoughts?
Well, I'm all for it.
He says maybe Jody or Kate could present the award on the field after the game as part of the post-game player interview. So it could be an award that you issue every day during a win or maybe at the end of the year.
Yeah, maybe not for the guy that had the game-winning home run or pitched a shutout, but somebody that did something to help the team win a ball game. Now, Meadows not happy, but our nationwide eye on the game will show you this at bat. Good fastball for a called strike. He fouls off another fastball just off the outside corner with that one. Bounces a slider in the dirt. And then in the estimation of Ryan Blakeney, that one caught some of the plate.
Starling Marte. I didn't hear a beep or a ding.
I mean, talking about that potential Craig Counsell Award, a guy like Daniel Descalso, you know, a guy that he's not hitting 300, he's not leading the league in home runs, but it seems like he comes up with something every day to help the team win a ball game.
Well, there might be a conflict of interest considering he manages a National League rival right now.
Yeah, that is true. That's
in fact, he's managing the best team in the National League. They won again. They beat the Cubs 1-0 today, the Brewers.
41st win of the season for the Brewers.
They were the first team in the league to get to 40. Now they're at 41. But I really like where Chris is headed with this kind of thinking. This is a productive executive type thinking. So we want to thank Chris Hallgren from Mesa for his letter. And again, if you got a suggestion like that, an idea, drop us a letter. We want a stamp and an envelope, the whole thing old school here at 401 East Jefferson Street in Phoenix, 85004. He thinks actually it's your staff that makes up all the nicknames. He would like a nickname. Can we clear that with Toby? Toby's got a lot of work since he stepped up to be a nickname commissioner. See what you got yourself into? There's a walk to Marte with 2 outs. That'll bring up Colin Moran. We've done some Brenly Awards, I think, at the end of the year. We used to do that.
Yeah, I remember in the past we used to do the Bone Chip Awards. BB's Bone Chips.
That was it, yeah.
And it was guys, you know, like we're talking about, that maybe aren't the best player on the team. They're not a superstar. They're not going to go to an all-star game. But you want them up at the plate in a key situation, or you want the ball hit to them in a key situation.
So we got some good mail out there. Keep them coming. Thanks for those, guys. You know, a lot of people, they do the emails, they're on the Twitter. This is an old school booth.
Yeah, very old school.
Mostly because it has to be, because again, there's some technological challenges involved.
Well, I have some issues. I haven't been able to send an email in about 6 months.
That's why you have a staff. You don't bother with that stuff. You just delegate. Tell them no. No, and oh, that's a no.
That's pretty close to what Bob Lillis taught me. Yeah, a valuable lesson I learned very early on in my big league career by our bench coach in San Francisco, Bob Lillis, former Houston Astros manager. He said, when people ask you for tickets to a game, there's 2 answers you can give.
Yeah.
No and heck no.
Wow.
Or something like that.
It's a little grouchy, isn't it?
Well, you know, some of these guys get abused. I mean, you know, you want to take care of your friends and family, but when, hey, my mom goes to the same hairdresser that your aunt did, can I get 6 tickets to the game? I don't know. Well, for those kind of requests, there are 2 answers.
Yeah. Well, if you don't have a stamp handy, you can always write us a note, bring it to the ballpark, drop it off at the guest relations office, and they'll bring them up here. Well, you'll send someone from your staff down to pick them up, and we'll read them on the air if we can. Good fastball down and in from TJ, and it's 0-2. Camp day at the ballpark. Whenever we have a camp day here and they really get going, it sounds like the old clips from those Beatles concerts.
Yeah.
With the screaming. It's a hard day's night.
I want to hold your hand.
That's Paul's granddad. 1-2 to Colin Moran.
Marte with 13 steals on the season over there at first base. He hasn't had a real good read on TJ McFarland yet. He's been leaning back toward the bag at first every time he delivers home. There he goes.
Swing and a miss. TJ gets the strikeout. That's his fourth. We stretch at Chase Field. D-backs trail the Pirates 5-2. Looking for the 3-game sweep, but they trail Pittsburgh 5-2. Fans, remember, if you can't watch the games on TV, stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. It's brought to you locally by your Valley Honda dealer. Download the free app. Take Fox Sports Arizona and the D-backs with you wherever you go. Jamison Tyone out there to start the 7th inning. Had 98 pitches in the ball game. There is action in the Pirate bullpen. Jeff Mathis, the number 8 hitter, leads it off for the D-backs. Pitcher spot behind him, Alex Avila's in the on-deck circle. Jeff so far 0 for 2. Pirates lead at 5-2. Each team with 6 hits. Each team has left 5. Fastball's low, called a strike, and it's 1-1. Taillon hoping to get a long overdue win. He won his first 2 starts this year, including a 1-hit shutout of the Reds in his second start of the season. Avila will hit next for the pitcher McFarland. But since then, Taillon has won only once. Wow, that's a miss right there. That was right in the strike zone, but we'll take it, a leadoff walk.
Hey fans, a D-backs home run today means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack in the Box locations with the purchase of a large drink. And thanks to David Peralta and whoever else for the D-backs hits home runs today, you can grab one tomorrow.
Alex Avila. Alex in there at 120 with a couple of homers this year. Cervelli wants to talk it over. There was breaking news from the bullpen today. Andrew Chafin, it has been reported, and now we have the visual evidence, has shaved his mustache.
Oh, is he still the sheriff?
I'm not sure he can pull that off now. Unless it grows back pretty quick, it looks like a whole different guy. He won a milking contest the other day. I don't know if that had something to do with it.
Well, I think that's 2 years in a row for Andrew Chafin winning the milking contest. He's a ringer.
He'd be my pick. Guy walks around on the road in cowboy boots and big cowboy hat on the plains. He would be able to milk something.
I take that back. J.J. Hoover was a big winner last year because he had some livestock on his farm back in
yeah, he was a
Ohio.
ringer. He was a ringer. Lines it right to Harrison, and they double off Mathis. So even when Alex barrels one up, he can't catch a break these days. He hit it right at the second baseman.
A step in the right direction for Alex Avila. Hasn't had a lot of playing time lately, hasn't had a lot of at bats lately, but he's starting to barrel them up.
Yeah. Base is empty, 2 down for the leadoff man John Jay. He has singled and walked, scored a run today. Came in on Peralta's homer back in the first. Bounced in and out of the glove of Austin Meadows in left field and over the fence. David's 12th of the year. D-backs led it 2-0. Pirates answered with a 4-run second. They added one more in the fourth. That's a fair ball for Bell. And Taillon is through 7. D-backs trail at 5-2. D-backs will take on the Rockies here July 20th through the 22nd. The first 20,000 fans to the game on Saturday, July 21st. Get this Jake Lamb bobblehead courtesy of Arizona Milk Producers. Get your tickets now at dbacks.com. That's a nice looking bobblehead right there. Certainly better than Jake's last year when he had some livestock involved.
Yeah, who needs to look at video when you can just look at your bobblehead? That's a nice swing right there.
That's good, yeah. Like the jersey. Got the front foot protector on there. Here is the clean shaven Andrew Chafin on to start the 8th.
Well, maybe he'll be a little more aerodynamic as he strides toward home plate now.
Andrew worked the ball game last night through 13 pitches. Gave up an RBI double against Josh Bell. Bell is on deck. Cervelli, the catcher, leads it off in the Pittsburgh 8th. Cervelli has struck out, walked twice, scored a run today. He's 0 for 1. That's rolls foul. D-backs after this one get to stay home. Nice night at home. We're back at it tomorrow. 1 to 4 against the Mets. D-backs live pregame show at 6 o'clock on Fox Sports Arizona. Matt Cook against Steven Matz. So it's Matt versus Matz. Godley and Seth Lugo Friday. Saturday a 7:10 start. Patrick Corbin and Jason Vargas, couple of left-handers, and then on Sunday, Father's Day, Clay Buchholz and Zach Wheeler. Here's Patrick. Hopefully headed toward an all-star season. I think Chafin shaved his head and his mustache.
Got carried away.
Maybe. Well, you know, you trim a little bit here and then sooner or later you look up and trying to even things out. This is hit pretty well. Deep right center field. Gerard Dyson had just enough room.
I love watching Gerard Dyson play center field. Occasionally you'll see a center fielder run after a ball like this and he'll look at the fence and look back at the ball and look at the fence, look back at the ball. Panic starts to set in as you get close to the barrier, but Dyson always seems to be under control when he gets close to that wall.
Here is Bell. An RBI double in the second. He's 1 for 3.
We just saw that drive out to right center field. Luis Gonzalez was in the booth here the other day talking about the overhang, the home run porches out there in right and left center. And Steve Finley used to talk about really high fly balls that got out there. He would lose sight of momentarily. You get out there too far underneath that porch and the ball is above your line of sight. You have to wait for it to come back down or step forward so you can get a better look at that fly ball.
Got that in on Bell. Goldie foul ground. 2 outs.
Get off me, ball. I think he hit that one off the knob.
Well, Chafin struck out Gregory Polanco in the 7th inning last night. Here's Polanco again today. He has walked, singled, scored a run. 1 for 2. D-backs put 3 infielders on the first base side. Ahmed Shada just over the first base side of second. D-backs in the bottom half of the 8th inning will have Goldie, Lamb, Peralta due up 2, 3, and 4. Tyone's at 109 pitches. There is action in the Pirate bullpen, so he could be done.
You know, partner, sometimes you lose perspective of how far an outfielder runs to get to a ball. But on StatCast, we can tell you exactly how much distance Jarrod Dyson covered. 94 feet. That's like running home to first base, all the while tracking a ball in the air and knowing you're getting close to that wall.
Wow. Right back up the middle. Nick is there. Goldie, Lamb, Peralta coming up. D-backs down 3.
Right after the game, Brandon, we'll talk about Zach Greinke's shortest outing of the year, but was it as bad as it would appear?
Well, I mean, he had one bad inning. Of course, it comes on after 2-run first. He gives them back. He gives four runs up there in the second inning. But other than that, they battle him. That's what they've been doing all series. They battle him, made him throw a lot of pitches. But, you know, he threw 4 innings, and it wasn't too hot.
So we'll break that down and much more. Obviously, that's after the game. But first, Steve and Bob, bring it home. We'll see how this one winds up.
All right, guys, thanks. Here's a look at where we've got so far. Gila River game summary. D-backs led it 2-0. Pittsburgh, as Webby just mentioned, had that 4-run second. And now Goldie will lead off the bottom of the 8th inning against the new Pirate pitcher, Edgar Santana. It was Santana who came on in the 7th inning Monday in the series opener, gave up Descalso's RBI single, and then Jake Lamb's 3-run home run that tied it up. He struck out Goldie in that inning Monday night. Fastball again is in on the hands. We've been brushing Goldie back all series long. More than 32,000 with us today. Let's give the kids something to shout about. This Pirate bullpen has been less than stellar so far. 7 innings in this series. Pirate relievers have an ERA over 14. They've given up 11 runs in those 7 innings. So there's still a chance here, down 3. No outs in the 8th. 32,803 in with us this afternoon. Everybody's got their signs. It's a nice job by everybody, organized by Camp and Color. Orange t-shirts, blue, yellow, green. Of course, the real heroes, as you mentioned, are the counselors.
Yeah, the counselors and the chaperones.
Done a great job today, and had some of the youngsters on the field before the game taking pictures. There they are. Okay, where's Timmy? Right now, he's here. All right, everybody, line up.
I think that guy was filling out a job application for something else.
Oh, no. 2-2. Moran at third. Well, as we mentioned, Monday night it was Jake Lamb came up against Edgar Santana, hit that opposite field 3-run homer that tied it at 5. As the D-backs came from 5-0 down to win it 9-5, trying to come back again here against Santana. This was Lamb Monday night.
We'll take a flashback. Got a fastball out over the plate and belted it out of here to the opposite field.
Just out of reach of Corey Dickerson. Jake today 0 for 3. There's the Pittsburgh overshift against Jake Lamb. Mets are in here tomorrow night, first of 4. They lost this afternoon in Atlanta, so the Mets are coming in here from Georgia. Cross country flight. They lost 2-0 this afternoon. Jake powers one the other way one more time, but Meadows has it on the warning track.
You mentioned earlier the Diamondbacks catching a break. They missed Syndergaard and they also missed Jacob deGrom.
Well, this was David Peralta, our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing cool play of the game, off the glove of Meadows and over the fence.
Meadows probably doesn't think it's so cool, but we do. I was just about to say that no deGrom, no Syndergaard against the Mets. Jacob deGrom this year has a 1.55 ERA. The Mets, however, are 5-9 in games he starts. Now on the other side of the coin, you got Lucas Giolito with the White Sox. He's got an ERA 7.09, and the White Sox are 5-8 in his starts.
What are you saying?
Well, I'm guessing that Mr. Giolito with the White Sox gets a lot more offensive support than Jacob deGrom does.
And the Mets are struggling for offense. That was a great freight train sign that's a camper hat out there. That's a nice job. Look at that. We'd like to get that up here. That's outstanding. Campers today did a tremendous job with the signs. A lot of artwork out there.
I mean, they knew they were coming to the ball game today, so perhaps at camp all week they've been making signs.
Yeah, sure looks like it. There's a whole bunch.
Baseball.
Go D-backs. Did you ever take any art classes in Coshocton or at Ohio U?
As a matter of fact, I did.
Really?
As a youngster growing up back in Coshocton, my mother tried to give me as well-rounded a childhood as possible, so she signed me up for art lessons.
And?
Wasted her money.
You were sculpting something?
No, it was just drawing and sketching and pastels and watercolors. And
I picture you and your girlfriend maybe in a scene from Ghost making some pottery or something.
Oh no, nothing like that. It was Miss Vivian Williams. She was I mean, for Coshocton, she was famous. She was a wonderful, wonderful art teacher and really helped a lot of those who had some aptitude. But
you were not among those.
I was better off painting garages and stuff.
Santana comes on, works a 1-2-3-8 through the heart of the D-backs order. It stays 5-2 Pittsburgh. tomorrow night for the first of 4. They lost in Atlanta today. Freddie Freeman in a 1-0 game, 8th inning, hits another home run. And that was all the offense the Braves needed. They beat New York 2-0. Mets managing only 2 hits in that game, and now they come here. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink. Steven Matz and Matt Cook tomorrow night in the opener. Zach Godley, Seth Lugo Friday. Patrick Corbin and Jason Vargas, a matchup of left-handers Saturday night. And then Father's Day, Clay Buchholz and Zach Wheeler. All 4 games for you right here on Fox Sports Arizona.
Well, ideally a chance for some of those starting pitchers for the Diamondbacks to get healthy themselves. We talk a lot about the offense getting healthy. Well, some of those starting pitchers need to round back into form again, especially with guys coming back off the disabled list soon.
Silvino Bracho, who has looked really good lately, on to face Jordy Mercer to start the 9th inning. Bracho's done a tremendous job lately. Got a win Saturday at Colorado. Got a big strikeout in Sunday's game to complete the sweep of the Rockies. Mercer skies one way up in the air behind shortstop. Ahmed's got it. And Corey Dickerson now will hit for the pitcher Santana. Dickerson had a single in last night's game. He's 1 for 9 in the series, hitting .311 with 5 homers.
You mentioned that Freddie Freeman home run in that game in Atlanta today. I know a lot of our people in the broadcast department were on Freddie Freeman and beat the streak today, so they're happy.
Freddie Freeman's usually a go-to guy in beat the streak. He's right up there with Trout, Altuve. When you're really up against it, you go to some of those guys. Goldie's been a great pick all month. Ketel Marte. Bracho looking good. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Josh Harrison.
Silvino being very efficient. Our nationwide vision eye on the game. First pitch on the outside corner, and then another one out there. He just rolls over and hits that easy ground ball to second base. That's what you hope when you make that pitch out there on the outside corner down. You hope that left-hander tries to pull it. It's going to end up a ground ball to the right side.
We've seen McFarland, Chafin, now Bracho. 2 outs in the 9th inning. Here's Josh Harrison. What is your current beat the streak status?
I'm right there at 0.
Again?
Yeah. Brandon Crawford last night.
He got you, huh? Well, that's what you get for picking a giant.
Well, I have Mike Trout today, and he's already got a knock in the books. I've got Brian Dozier later tonight against the Detroit Tigers.
This one's trying to drop it. Marte gets underneath it. Bracho impressive again. 3 outs on 5 pitches. Bottom 9 on the way.
The ninth, they trail the Pirates 5-2. Hey, fans, get tickets now for a few big giveaway games. The Father's Day Hawaiian shirt giveaway is this Sunday, June 17th. The D-backs duffel bag on June 30th, and the Jake Lamb bobblehead on July 21st. Get tickets at dbacks.com.
D-backs down to their final 3 outs, and on from the Pirate bullpen is Felipe Vasquez, who has struggled big time trying to close out games. He has blown saves in 4 of his last 6 opportunities. So maybe they can come back. They're down 3 here. Ketel Marte, Gerard Dyson, Nick Ahmed due up 5, 6, and 7 in the D-backs 9th.
Only the Minnesota Twins have blown more save opportunities than the Pittsburgh Pirates this year.
Vasquez worked a 1-2-3 9th inning Sunday in Chicago. That was a non-save situation. Since May 17th, his ERA is 7. Opponents hitting .310 against him. 100 miles an hour. You can see why they think he might have closer stuff, but he's behind 2-0. Looking for some base runners here. Ketel, 3 hits, 3 RBIs in the series. 99. He's got all kinds of radar gun readings, but he can't throw a strike. And as we've seen so many times, good things happen when you get that leadoff man aboard with a base on balls. Owings on deck, set to hit for Dyson against the left-hander. Ryan Blakeney. That was well below the knees, but on 3-0 it's a strike. Vasquez looks like just tries to bully you with velocity. 100 miles an hour in that time. Base hit. Good start. Marte 2 for 4.
99-mile-an-hour heater inside part of the plate, and Ketel Marte gets around and pulls it through that left side of the infield. Good start.
Owings will hit for Dyson. CO 193. He's got 3 home runs. That was 112 miles an hour off the bat of Ketel Marte. Everything he hits is hard these days. Breaking ball misses low. 1-0 on Owings. CO had a couple of doubles in Sunday's win over the Rockies at Colorado. He was off last night. Well, he's not afraid to come into right-handers with that high velocity, but he cannot throw a strike. And he's behind 2-0.
I'm not sure if that's his intention to come inside the right-handers. I just don't think he knows quite where it's going right now. Yeah, Cervelli tried to get him to throw that slider first pitch to Chris Owings just to maybe slow everything down a little bit and then go back to that fastball. Whatever he said to him, he got a laugh out of Felipe Vasquez.
Vasquez 8 pitches so far, only 3 for strikes. CO can hit a fastball. Doesn't matter what the radar gun reading says. Taken all the way there on 2-0. That was a changeup, not even close, and it's 3-1. Nick Ahmed on deck. This after he went 3-2 on Ketel Marte. Ball 4, and the D-backs with nobody out in the 9th inning get the tying run to the plate. Ahmed singled in the 2nd. He's 1 for 3. Here comes Ray Searage out to pay a visit.
The way these Diamondbacks rally around each other when situations are tough reminds me back in 01 and 02. A game like this, the guys would come back to the dugout for the bottom of the 9th and say, let's give them a finish. Let's give them a finish. Make that closer work hard to finish this game and get a couple guys on. Let's see what happens.
Well, the D-backs have been rolling. They've won 5 in a row and 11 of their last 14. Trying to come back and steal this one from Pittsburgh. They trail here Monday 5-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning and won it 9-5. Nick had an RBI single in the series opener Monday. He's 1 for 3 with a single here today. Ketel Marte at 2nd, Chris Owings at 1st, and nobody out. Tying run is at the plate. Took just a little bit off that fastball and threw it for a strike. It's 0-1. Mathis, the on deck hitter, pitcher spot behind him. Moran at 3rd will step on the bag, throw across the diamond. Ahmed is safe. So they get the force on Marte. 1st and 2nd now, 1 out for Mathis.
I think that's a bad decision on the part of Moran down there at 3rd base. Hard hit ball right at him. He should go up the middle, turn 2. The time it took him to run over and tag the bag at 3rd, that gave Nick enough time to beat out the relay to 1st.
Jeff walked his last time up. He's 0 for 2 today. John Ryan Murphy in the on deck circle, set to hit for Silvino Bracho. That's the changeup. Mathis was looking for a fastball, and it's 0-1. Another hard changeup. Brad Boxberger starts to get loose just in case he can tie it. Nothing but changeup to Mathis so far. Stuck with the changeup, got the strikeout. 2 down.
Had real trouble finding the zone with his fastball, but he's thrown some really good changeups in this at bat to Jeff Mathis.
John Ryan Murphy will hit for the pitcher. Tying run at the plate, 2 down in the 9th. John Ryan, 257. He's got 8 homers, 3 hits in the series. That one gets through Cervelli. Everybody moves up. Owings in at third. Ahmed at second.
Cervelli came up a little bit that time, and the ball snuck right underneath, right through the 5-hole, all the way to the backstop.
Almost threw another one back there. 2-0. John Ryan has done most of his damage this season against left-hand pitchers.
A little bit too high that time for John Ryan Murphy. He's looking for something belt high and below that he can lift in the air to left field.
Three and one. John Jay, left-hand batter, out there in the on-deck circle. Jay is singled and walked today. 3 hits in last night's game. Bases are loaded. Well, John Jay came up last night in the 7th inning and hit one the other way that basically put the game away. D-backs won it 13-8. Marrero will come in and run for Murphy at first. So the tying runs are aboard. The winning runs at the plate. John Jay, he singled, walked, and scored a run today. 1 for 3. Jay's a left-hand batter that can handle himself against left-hand pitching. Boy, if you could somehow keep this going, you got Goldie on deck. Owings is at third. Ahmed's at second. Marrero the tying run at first with 2 outs. Missed at 99. It's 1-1. $100. Vasquez working hard. He's thrown 26 pitches. Only half of them for strikes. That was impressive. Here's the 1-2. Another one at triple digits. Great crowd here with us. Almost 33,000 this afternoon. 1-2 to John Jay.
Whoa.
That can't
walked
be
into
fun.
that one. Yeah. Woo. Too close.
Get those hands out of there. See John with 2 strikes. Got some bat handle into that bottom hand. Base hit. Owen scores. Here comes Ahmed. Marrero is in at third. And Goldie's coming up. John Jay.
Well, I can't tell you what a good at bat that is. A left-handed hitter facing a guy throwing 100 miles an hour. He just threw one right underneath John Jay's chin, and he stays right in there and flips that ball down the left field line to drive home too.
And they're going to give Goldie the free pass and work to Jake Lamb. Jake is 0 for 4. Bases are loaded. 2 outs. They've got the tying run at third, the winning run at second, and it's Lamb and Vasquez. Vasquez about to throw his 30th pitch of this 9th inning.
Well, I'm sure Tony Paraschica alerted Devin Marrero to be on his toes. This guy's been spraying it around a little bit. He's already thrown one to the backstop. Be ready to go.
Jake this year 3 for 16 versus left-hand pitchers. That includes 5 bases on ball, so he's had some pretty good at bats against lefties. Snuck a breaking ball in there, and it's 0-2. .101 right down Main Street. 8th man to bat here in the D-back 9th. Vasquez about to throw pitch number 33 in the inning. .101 in the dirt. Pittsburgh bullpen gets busy. He's tried curveballs. He's tried changeups. Lamb is even 2-2. Just got a piece. 101 down and away. Lamb found a way to get to it.
I've been watching Cervelli with the runner at second base with Vasquez out there on the mound. If he doesn't give any sign, it's a fastball. He's done it every time. He just squats down behind home plate and kind of indicates to his pitcher, come on, bring it on.
Well, they're going to talk it over
now.
now.
Change it up now. Yeah, he was just throwing fastballs every time Cervelli sat in his squat and didn't give a sign.
Felipe Vasquez, 4 blown saves in his last 6 opportunities. And he's on the verge of letting this one get away. Tying runs at third, winning runs at second. Got him. 100 miles an hour. D-backs get back within 1. They leave them loaded. And the Pirates salvage the finale here. They avoid the sweep.
The location of that one at 100 miles an hour up there around the letters. That's really tough to catch up to. Jake Lamb just a little tardy that time on strike 3.
Well, that snaps the D-backs' 5-game win streak, but they win another series. Pittsburgh takes it 5-4. Brandon Webb standing by with Todd Walsh. Todd.
Steve, thank you very much. And Brandon, there's an old saying, there's no medals for trying, but I got to give the Diamondbacks some credit right there. What an inning. Unbelievable at bats, and there was a weakness there. The closer of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they exploited it and almost brought this game into extra innings, almost won it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an exciting game. Shut down after the first inning, but the Diamondbacks, I tell you what, every time they're in a hole, they never give up. They play the entire 9 innings, gave us a scare, had a great opportunity to at least tie, if not win that ball game, and made it interesting.
Okay, we will take a very short break. We'll come back to Chase Field because our coverage continues here on Fox Sports Arizona. When we get back here, it is Diamondbacks Live, the post-game show. Kate Longworth is here. She'll get inside the Diamondbacks clubhouse. We'll hear from Troy Lavelle. Bob Bremley awaits us as well. So a complete breakdown of what happened here this afternoon as the Diamondbacks fall in the 3rd and final game of this series. And we never did get the apple pie chili chaga. We're working on that, aren't we?